Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am doing a Super Bowl themed mukbang because the Super Bowl is this Sunday. Even though I don't watch football, I probably won't even watch the Super Bowl, but my favorite part of watching football games when I do is always the food that people have. So yeah, I just figured I would do a Super Bowl themed mukbang, especially since I assume a lot of you guys are going to be watching the Super Bowl. So anyways, I made this cake myself, which I'm so excited about. I'll post a video on how I did it. It's actually really easy, but I'm so excited to try that because it turned out better than I thought it was going to. And then for the savory part, I just have a whole bunch of finger foods because I figure that's what people mostly eat when they watch sports. So I have pretzels, mozzarella sticks, jalapeno poppers. I have these veggie sliders from, what's the brand? White Castle. And then I also have some potato chips with a homemade cheesy like onion dip, which I'll also post the recipe to. So the dip basically just has cream cheese, mayo, cheddar cheese, mozzarella, and then chopped up onions, and then it's baked. So I'm excited. I'm just gonna start eating, and then I also am gonna do a Q&A for today's video, but I'm hungry, so I'm just gonna eat. Wow. This dip is bomb. And it was so easy to make. Like, it literally only took me like 20 minutes to put everything together. Mmm. Oh my god, the chip keeps breaking. My favorite chips are easily, like my favorite kind of chips are easily when they have like the waves in them. I just like the texture a lot better. Mmm. So for the Q&A, I asked you guys on my community tab again, just to ask me questions basically, because I realized I hadn't done a Q&A since like September, I think. So I figured I've gotten new subscribers since then, and so I figured I would just do one. I know a lot of you guys really want me to do more true crime stuff, and I will. I think I'm gonna do a true crime or conspiracy video next week, but they just take so long to research and edit that literally if I was to do one every week, I would be editing and researching for the same video until I had to film and research for the next video, if that makes sense. So I just can't do them every week, but I will be doing one next week. Anyways, so first question is, Miriam R asked, what is your boyfriend's opinion on you not wanting kids? I remember you mentioned in a video that you don't want kids. Does he also not want any? What are his thoughts? His thoughts are that he doesn't want kids either. I remember that was like one of the first things we talked about when I think we actually talked about it like on our first date, that both of us didn't want kids. So yeah, we're both on the same page with that. We just feel like it would hold us back too much in life. There's things that would be way more difficult to do if I had a kid versus now, so I just would rather not have one. Oh my gosh. It's so good. So the crazy thing is the frosting is actually all the same frosting. So the white stuff, that's like the original color of the frosting, and then I used food coloring to make it brown. So it looks like it's chocolate, but it's not. I use food coloring to make it brown. And then I also use food coloring to make the grass green or whatever. Just because I don't really like chocolate cake with chocolate frosting. I mean, it's okay, but I feel like I get tired of it really fast, and so I wanted to do more like cream cheese, buttercream based frosting, but not chocolate. Maria Muir, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, asked, did your dad ever see the video you made about your relationship? If so, what did he say? Sorry if you've answered this already. I have not answered this already, and I have been waiting to tell you guys this. I wanted to tell you because obviously since I posted the video, I've gotten a lot of questions and comments about that, and I'll link the video in the description if you don't know what I'm talking about. Basically, I just talk about my relationship with my dad and why we aren't close. But my mom actually left my dad. Like, they're getting a divorce partially, and it wasn't because of my video. She said when she watched my video she cried because it was like kind of hard, because me and her never talk about it. We don't talk about my dad. I never wanted to like disrespect their marriage in any way by like saying that I wish that she would divorce him, so we never really talked about it. And so I guess it was hard for her to watch me talk about it and like say how I felt about it. So yeah, she's living in her own apartment now, and she's just like the happiest I've seen her in a long time. So I'm really, really happy that she, because that's a hard step, I feel like, because they were married for like 25, 26 years. So yeah, I'm just like really proud. I'm just happy for her. I also don't know if this is going to, because it's food coloring, so I don't know if it's gonna like color my teeth and stuff. So if my teeth or my tongue start looking green or brown, that is why. And all this food I bought from the frozen section at the grocery store, so. Tori Johnson asked, when did you lose your V card? I lost my virginity my junior year of high school. I was, I think 16 or 17. But yeah, it was my junior year. I think I might have already talked about that in the Q&A, but I lost it to my ex-boyfriend that I've talked about on my channel before. Diana G asked, do you smoke weed? Much love and greetings from Romania. I don't smoke weed super consistently, but I have smoked in the past. And then I've also been taking edibles recently because I've been having trouble getting to sleep for some reason. So I've been taking edibles to help me get to sleep, and it really works. Like, I don't really get high from it. I mostly get like a, like kind of high, but mostly just sleepy feeling. So you know when you smoke and you feel like way too high, like you can't function? When I take the edible, I just feel more relaxed and not like overly high, like I'm gonna freak out. So Naruto. So I said ask me anything, I'll be honest, and so all these, that's why all these questions are, I feel like, so not your average Q&A questions. Naruto Uzumaki asks, how many sexual partners have you had? I have had, let me think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 11 total, I think. Yeah, I think it's 11 total. Victoria H asked, do you ever have a hard time going back to healthy eating after a cheat meal? Also, do you get cravings during the week? If so, what do you do about it? Yeah, sometimes. Like, sometimes when I have my cheat days or my mukbangs, it makes me like want to eat healthy, because you know that feeling when you eat like crap and you're like, oh, I just want fruits and vegetables. Sometimes I feel like that, and then sometimes it is so hard, especially when I'm editing my videos of me eating. If it's the next day and I'm not full and I'm kind of hungry, I will crave what I ate so bad. And it's like sometimes I'll have to, well, I don't have to, but sometimes I'll save food for my boyfriend so he can try it, like if I make something or something like that. And so it'll be in my fridge while I'm editing, and I'm like, I just want to go eat that so bad. But I mean, at the end of the day, if I cheated every day, these videos wouldn't be as fun. Like when I've done full cheat weeks, it's just like not as enjoyable towards the end. So that's what I kind of have to remind myself, is like, are you really gonna want to have a mukbang next week if you eat like shit every day? Oh. And then I also, like a lot of the food that I eat is kind of catered to the fact that I have a sweet tooth. So I use sugar-free maple syrup like in my oats, on my pancakes, my protein pancakes, on like a whole bunch of stuff. And then I'll sprinkle sugar on fruit, like just a little bit if I want to have that. I've been having banana and ice cream lately, which I want to do what I eat in a day soon. So I will show most likely the banana and ice cream and the what I eat in a day. But it's basically just like literally blended up frozen bananas, and it turns into a super like almost ice cream like consistency. And so if I add like chocolate protein powder or PB2 to it, it literally tastes like ice cream. So eating stuff like that, you don't have the guilt associated with it, and it tastes really good. So I guess that's kind of how I handle my sweet tooth or my cravings. I feel like people get the most cravings when they like overly restrict themselves. Macy Bernie asked, does your mom and your sister like your boyfriend? Yes, they both like him. Taylor Hutton asked, do you feel like you and Sarah get along better living together or not living together? I would say we get along better. Well, we always got along well. It wasn't like when we lived together we were fighting, but not living together has made me appreciate the time we spend together a lot more, if that makes sense. Because it's like more of a treat when I see her. So I guess in that way it's improved our relationship. I don't know, I hope that makes sense. And I just like living alone. Like I really like having alone time. And when I come home, like sometimes I just don't want to talk to anyone, you know? And so in that sense, I just like living by myself, because I get to see people when I want to see people, not when I have to see them. So yum. I'm like, oh my god, I know this is gonna like trigger some people if I have dip on my cake. I'm like loving all the savory stuff, and I think that's just because the dip is so bomb that it's just, I feel like anything would taste good with it. Natalie Doss asked, do you have a fat girl mentality or struggle with any body dysmorphia? Yes, I struggle with body dysmorphia like you wouldn't believe. Oh, I totally forgot I had a corn dog here because it's like hiding. Yeah, so I definitely struggle with body dysmorphia just because I feel like everyone who, because I was like 230 pounds, and so I feel like if you've gone through that kind of weight loss, it doesn't just leave you like that. Like, that would be awesome if you just lost weight and then you're like, I forget that I was ever 230 pounds, but it doesn't work that way. And so sometimes, like, if I'm bloated or after a mukbang, sometimes if I feel really full, those kind of thoughts will come back. I'll be like, oh, you know, like, I look so bloated or I look so big. So hopefully eventually one day I will love everything about myself, but that's not today. Wings asked, would you ever have a threesome? I would honestly cry if you answer. It would be the best birthday present ever. Happy birthday, Wings. I feel like that's not your real name, but happy birthday. And to answer your question, I honestly don't know if I would ever have a threesome. It seems like something that I feel like everyone should try, I guess, but I also don't know how much I would enjoy it, if that makes sense. But I honestly don't know if I ever will. Like, I don't know when the opportunity would present itself, so yeah. This is the Morningstar brand, so they're vegetarian. Lena Sandoval asked, what's the pettiest thing you've ever done? And by the way, I love your short hair, it suits you. Thank you. Pettiest thing I've ever done. Oh, well, I'm gonna do a story time about this. I don't even know if this would constitute as like the pettiest thing I've ever done, but it's what's coming to mind right now. And when I lived in this house while I was in college, I had like 7 roommates, I think, or it was like 7 people total, I forget. But we were having an issue with someone in the house stealing our things. And so I'll tell a story time. So like basically there was just like a whole bunch of drama. It was like 2 sides of the house. So it was like my side and my sister's side, and then there was another side. And the other side like didn't care that our stuff was getting stolen. I'm assuming we're probably the ones stealing it. But to be petty, my sister and I wrote a note. So when you walked into our house, there was a mirror like facing you. So like you walk in and there's automatically a wall. You can either go to the left or to the right. And so on the wall that had the mirror on it, we put a note. And it was like, it said, I forget exactly verbatim. It said, I think like, how thieves, how do you feel about yourselves when you look at yourself in the mirror? And we just wrote it on this like 8x11 piece of paper and taped it to the mirror. And the funny thing about it is, I guess, because like it was towards the end of the year, and so they were touring to try to have people rent out the house for next year. And the funny thing about it is, I guess they were doing a tour like when they found the note. So like they were leading people into the house, and then the people who were gonna live there were like I feel like, if anything, I just saved them trouble by doing that, because I'm assuming they didn't sign, and then they don't have to worry about their stuff getting stolen, so they're welcome. Mariela Delgado asked, I could be wrong, but I think you mentioned in a previous video that you and your boyfriend were moving to New York. If you are moving, how does your sister and family feel about the move? Yes, we are moving to New York sometime this spring/summer. And my sister's moving with us, so she's excited. New York is like her dream city. And so we, like, my sister and I have always wanted to live there. And my mom is sad because obviously if we're not by her, like, that's just gonna be sad, but who knows? My mom's family lives in New York, so she might move out there, especially now that she's not with my dad anymore, because he didn't want to move out anywhere. Obviously, he just wanted to stay in Seattle. So who knows? My mom might follow us, but yeah, my sister, me, and my boyfriend are all moving out there at the same time, so I'm excited. I'm mostly excited just like thinking about all the food I can eat there. Last time I went to New York, when I did that full week cheat day, I didn't even try half the stuff that I wanted to, so I'm just so excited. Tanaya J asked, if you don't want to do YouTube full-time, what job would you want to do? I actually want to train people either in person or online, like a personal trainer. I think that training people would be so fun. And then also taking online clients, so training online. I just have to get my certification, so I'm working on that right now. But yeah, that's like my dream. That's been my dream career for like the past year or so. So yeah, hopefully very soon I will be done with my certification, and then I can start like putting online stuff out there and hopefully getting clients. So that's my goal right now. CellXX asked, how do you cope with bloating after cheat meals/cheat days? I'm recovering from an ED and bloating still triggers me the most. By the way, your videos help me a lot to stay motivated on my recovery. Thanks for that. Love from Austria. That makes me really happy to hear that they help you, because I know that dealing with ED is really difficult, especially as a former binge eater. So I know that's really hard, and bloating still does like not trigger me, but it does make me feel like shit if I'm bloated. So I know exactly what you mean. But the main thing I do is like after my mukbangs, like I probably won't eat for another like 20 hours after this, just because I won't be hungry. So tomorrow morning, like I'll wake up and I'll feel bloated when I wake up. Obviously I just go to the gym right away, usually like as soon as I can, just to get it out of the way. If I go later in the day after procrastinating, then it's just like it doesn't feel as good, especially if I'm bloated. So I just go to the gym right away, and then the rest of the day I lounge and edit. So I just wear baggy clothes, I drink water, and then I probably don't eat until dinner usually. So that's just usually how I combat it. I know that it's hard, like mentally it is really, really hard to get past bloating, but just remember that it's just bloat. Like the next day it'll be totally gone. So I hope that helps. Akira Shinigami asked, do you plan on getting a job that involves your degree? No. I mean, maybe sometime in the future, but as of right now, I feel like I still follow politics, but being in school studying politics just kind of turned me off to the whole political arena. So I still follow it, but I just feel like there's so much politics involved in politics that it's not the type of job that I really want to have, which I wish I would have known before I picked it as my major, but what are you gonna do? That's life. What is your #1 pet peeve? Well, I have a lot of pet peeves. People irritate me a lot. Currently, my #1 pet peeve. Oh my god. Sorry, my camera just died, so I think the setup might look kind of different. But as I was saying, my biggest pet peeve right now, which might sound crazy if you don't go to my gym because you have not had to experience it. I just feel like there's not a lot of common sense at my gym, and the locker room is where I deal with the most buffoon shit that you might ever think of in your life. So, for example, today, so I guess my entire pet peeve is just people without common sense, but side note, it's mostly pertaining to my gym because that's where I deal with it the most. Today at the gym, for example, it's hard to picture. I might actually try to insert a picture of the locker room because I think they have them online, so I'll try to insert a picture of the locker room. But all the lockers are self-lock, or not self-lock, you don't need to bring a lock for them. It's like there's a code on the locker that you put in, and like that's your code for the day. So apparently some people think that they need to use the same locker every time they go to the gym. And so it's already like tight corners or quarters as it is at the gym in the locker room, especially because for some reason the locker room's always crazy busy, even though the gym's never that busy. And so I get to the gym and I'm gonna put my stuff away in the locker, but I'm like grabbing my headphones out of my bag and my water out of my bag. And so I'm using the bench to put my bag down so I can grab stuff out of it. And you can tell like if a locker is taken or not by whether or not the knob is turned this way or it's still facing straight up. So if it's still facing straight up, it's open. And so I'm standing facing away from the locker that I want to use because the bench is in front of me. But I'm standing like, the locker would literally be like where this couch is, like it's directly behind me. And this woman decides that she's gonna struggle to get in behind me, so I'm confused. I'm like, okay, maybe she's pulling her stuff out of her locker, I should get out of her way. And she goes and she tries to start using the locker that I'm standing in front of. Like, why would you try to, like, there's so much space in the locker room. Like, there's so many lockers. Why do you need to struggle to get in behind me to use the locker that I want to use or that I'm like planning to use? That doesn't even make sense. I know I probably sound crazy, but I just can't. I'm just like, okay, you know what? It doesn't make sense. Trying to get inside the mind of crazy people will make you crazy. So I try not to think about it, but it still is very upsetting. Mary Smear asks, what is your biggest physical insecurity and your favorite physical thing about yourself? I think I've answered this before. My insecurities change, like what my biggest one is. My hands, which sounds really weird, but I just don't like them. I can't wait because like there's no good nail salons in Seattle. And so I used to have acrylic nails because my hands are like kind of manly. Not manly, but they're just not feminine, and I hate them. Like, I'm so jealous of girls with feminine hands. There's no good nail salons in Seattle, at least that I know of. If you know of a good one, please comment below, but all the ones I've been to I haven't really liked. So I can't wait to move to New York, and I can't wait to go to a good nail technician in New York, so my hands don't look as boyish. But yeah, that's probably like my biggest insecurity. And then my favorite thing about myself, I really love my hair recently. Like, well, I mean, I did something different today because I thought, why not? But like, I love how it's shorter. I finally feel like my hair frames my face how it's supposed to. And I'm just gonna do a couple more because I'm getting kind of full. Osley ASMR asked, when are you and Sarah gonna come out with a cookbook for us, please? We've actually been talking about that, like how fun it would be to release a cookbook. But I don't know. I mean, I would have to like start compiling a lot of different recipes, but I think it would be really cool in the future to come out with one, so it's definitely a possibility. Especially since we both love cooking. It'd be fun to like compile both of our favorite recipes. Okay, last question. If you could only watch one mukbanger, who would it be, or YouTuber in general? Mukbanger, I don't know. I've been living for Nikocato's videos lately, but I also love Sophia, as I've said a million times on my channel. Her mukbangs are my favorite, but she doesn't really post them anymore, so I don't know if she's still considered a mukbanger. So I would say Nikocato or Sophia. And then my favorite YouTuber in general, Shane Dawson, which I feel like would be everyone's answer. Or I also love Cody Ko. Cody Ko. I'd have to pick Cody Ko's videos. They're just so freaking funny. Like his That's Cringe videos. If you have not watched them, YouTube search That's Cringe Cody Co. They're the funniest thing that I've ever watched in my entire life. I literally, him and his friend Noel do them, and they basically react to like cringy videos on YouTube, and they're just like the funniest thing ever. So yeah, I'd probably have to pick Cody Co. So I'm pretty much all out of dip, and I'm getting full and slightly sugared out. So that is going to be the end of this mukbang after I take one more bite. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the food, the football cake, the football themed food. So yeah, thank you guys as always so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.